using the Hulkbuster as Iron Man is pretty awesome, I must admit. I mean, look at that little guy. Look how cute he is. Now, I know you've heard this take already, as I'm sorry I'm not wholly original here. The beta has been out for a few weeks, but this weekend was open to everybody, even those who didn't pre-order, and I didn't pre-order it. I'm still not going to. I wanted to like it, I did. Famous last words, I guess, before the internet swallows me whole. I'll be upfront with you. I'm a little biased. The second I heard about this game, I was pretty turned off. These are very distinct superheroes with distinct powers and abilities, and they're promising to add more characters to the game, which is fine, I guess, but that means they had to build gameplay around the idea of a big cast of characters potentially joining the experience. Do you really expect them to create new heroes from the ground up without having a basic template? But the game was also advertised as a co-op game, or has multiplayer. I'm gonna go off on a brief tangent about multiplayer in games as I see it before getting back to the Avengers. You can skip ahead if you want to, but I think it's important to hear me out on this so you understand why I think the way I do about Avengers. Multiplayer in and of itself is not bad, but it can be the kiss of death for a single player experience. And what do I mean by that? Look at any of these co-op or shared world games like Anthem or Destiny or Fallout 76. They have great ambition, which is great, but what is lost is something either in its story or atmosphere or overall world or even gameplay sometimes. I know Destiny's a little different, and it has a big following, so I understand if you feel differently about that game than a lot of others did, or even I do. But the larger point is that games have limited budgets, and if a big part of the budget is to make sure that the multiplayer, well, isn't broken as it should be, you have to make sacrifices. It might not always be obvious, it may not always be something big, maybe it's something small, but something has to give on a game that focuses either fully or partially on multiplayer. There are exceptions, of course, but they're few and far between. And also by its very nature, multiplayer needs to, in a way, like tame game mechanics. You have to create an experience that is easy for players of all levels to enjoy while not allowing people to become overpowered, because then the game becomes unbalanced and it's just not fun to play. Shooters are a little easier because everyone has basically the same level of movement and maneuverability. This brings us back to Avengers. Now, again, the co-op didn't sound appealing. I didn't feel it would work for a superhero game that also promises to be telling a compelling story. So, the biggest issue that I had with it, and you've no doubt heard this criticism already, all the characters kind of play the same. There's light attacks, there's heavy attacks, there's special attacks and abilities, and that's basically it. You can level them up some and get new abilities, but it doesn't drastically change the experience. You do play as all characters in the beta, and to be honest, I didn't enjoy any of them, exception being Iron Man, but I suspect that's just my personal taste. I mean, Hulk is totally like half asleep in combat. If you sprint, he looks like he's going for a brisk jog. Like, look at him. Hulk, get a newspaper. He's got no sense of urgency. He doesn't even seem all that angry. And that jump, look at him. Embarrassing form. No height. Now, I judge the characters based on how they played, or how they moved, or again, their maneuverability, their abilities in combat, like how useful or powerful their attacks are, and just generally how they felt to play. The best way to describe it is they're all very clunky. Maybe that'll change from now until release or over time, I don't know. I liked Iron Man. I played as him for most of the beta. He flies, he shoots, and that's pretty much it. Did I mention the Hulkbuster? So stylish and handsome, ain't he? Kamala Khan, or Ms. Marvel, was fun, but aside from getting super big, didn't have anything super memorable about the way she played. Hulk is probably, in my opinion, the most underpowered relative to his size and his thickness. Yeah, my boy is thick, but he feels vastly underutilized in gameplay. It's almost like they had to build these environments just to fit our jolly green friend, but then they didn't really think about any cool ways to take advantage of his size and his strength. I didn't mean to trash Hulk in this video, but I guess that's how it's sounding. Black Widow was fine, but to me, kind of unmemorable. Thor and Captain America you play as for like 5 minutes, so I can't really say much except to say they also felt kind of weak. Also, the portion you play with them in is the tutorial section, so you're very much being guided along, so it's hard to take away a strong impression. But it's like, to me, like the foundation was there, but they had to build the levels around the fact that you have to be able to complete every mission, even if you don't have certain heroes with you or certain abilities, so everything just feels samey. Even further, it's super linear. Sure, there are some areas that are open that you can travel around, but you're never going to be able to fly away as Iron Man, for example, or again, bust down some real big structures as Hulk. I'm just really hitting on Hulk in this video, aren't I? Also, it's corridor madness! You just follow the objective markers, and yeah, occasionally you will have open areas on the map and optional objectives, but it just results in you either saving some guy who magically gets teleported away, or you open a chest with barely anything inside. Cool. Otherwise, your missions end with either destroying waves of enemies, capturing several points, or just 1 point, or destroying different points. Very, very samey. Just all the same. Gear also doesn't change your appearance at all, which I suppose is fine. Maybe that's just a beta thing. You do get some cool costumes, which are pretty cool, but they're limited, so at launch and going forward, I expect that there will be more. And yes, this is a beta, but it can be kind of indicative of what the game is going to be like at launch. The game is out September 4th. That's enough time to fine-tune bugs and glitches, but not fundamentally change the game. And look, maybe I'll be wrong, and in a few weeks I'll be eating my words, but right now I saw nothing that impressed me. The heroes all kind of felt the same. They didn't seem very powerful, and the levels were very linear. Also, the story was not the focus of the demo or the beta, but what was in it seemed kind of silly. But I'm not going to say anything about that because it was brief, and to tell you it was bad just would not be fair. I would need to play the rest of the game or see the rest of the story. I also recognize that this game was likely not made for someone like me, so if you enjoyed it, God bless. I'm glad you liked it. If you had a chance to play through the beta or have been following this game, let me know what you think below in the comments. Perhaps you thought I was wrong and want to yell at me, or maybe you think I'm spot on and want to thank me for my brave stance. Either way, let me know. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, subscribe here on the YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram too if you want as well, or don't. Love you, bye.